What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I'm here today to do a new installment in my Rupture in the Machine split review series, and today we're going to be talking about the new split from the bands Mare Cognitum and Spectral entitled Wanderers, Astrology of the Nine. This is released on Voidhanger Records. Now, this is going to be quite an interesting split to tackle here, so I'm really going to try my best to cover it and talk about it in the best way I possibly can here. But if you're not familiar with either band, they both are very distinct and in tune with one another. They're very similar in terms of musical stylings. On one end, you have Mare Cognitum, one-person project based out of Portland, Oregon. I believe Jacob Busarski. I'm sorry if I say the last name wrong, but he's the main guy behind the project. He does all the music, all the vocals, all the lyrics, everything. And Spectral is another one-person project based out of Athens, Greece. Ilos, I believe that's the guy behind Spectral. He does all the music, all the vocals, all the lyrics, and all that stuff. Both are very distinctive bands, and both have very strong bodies of work. When it comes to Mare Cognitum, of course, albums such as The Sea Which Has Become Known, which of course is the English translation for Mare Cognitum, An Extra Conscious Lucidity, and of course the last two full-lengths that he put out, which I consider to be some of his best works, with Phobos Monolith and Luminiferous Aether. Of course, with Spectral, he has another wide variety of material that has garnered some critical acclaim, like the numbered albums 1, 2, and 3, and a series of lengthy EPs such as Sentinel, Voyager. No, excuse me. He did an album called Sentinel, but there were also some very lengthy EPs such as Voyager, Gnosis, which is the one that I got introduced to Spectral with, and Fossils. But interestingly enough, this is not the first time they've worked together. I want to say back in 2013, this band did a split called Soul, which was two really lengthy, almost half-hour-long tracks, and then they did a collaboration for the third track, which made for an almost sweeping and epic sort of musical release, and that was really, really awesome. But now Mare Cognitum and Spectral are working together again in putting out probably one of the most gutsy, one of the longest pieces of music to be released this year in the form of Wanderers, Astrology of the Nine. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 115 minutes in length, so this is pretty much almost 2 hours worth of music. And the way this split is structured is that each band gets at least 4 tracks apiece, and then the final 2 songs are a collaborative effort. So this is pretty much structured in a similar way to what they did the last time around with Soul. And pretty much you can tell both of these artists are very similar, but they have their own distinctive sort of sound. Like when it comes to Mare Cognitum, you can tell Mare Cognitum is very in your face, very fast, very frenetic, but also you get the ideas of what makes Mare Cognitum's music so special. I mean, when you listen to songs like Mars the Warrior, and of course all these songs are named after all 9 planets, I should say, with Mare Cognitum doing Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune. I mean, Venus being my favorite song of the bunch, with the way the guitar riffs are going on that track and the fast drumming. It's just really, really sensational to listen to the how marvelous that song is. Musically, it's just a tour de force. I love the fast drumming. I love the atmosphere that leads up to the musicianship getting started. I love the riffs. I love the vocal delivery. The vocals are very high registered. You can definitely feel the pain and emotion in his voice, and I think it's just really, really awesome. Spectral, on the other hand, with Mercury, Earth, Saturn, and Uranus, you can tell that he has some of those similar ideas going on, but I think there's a little bit more of a mid-pace sort of vibe going for it. The music and the composition work is just really awesome, but it's very much different in comparison to what Mare Cognitum does with his sides of the splits. And with Spectral Lore's side, you get a little bit more of a deeper sort of growling register going on with Ilos's vocals, which I think are really, really awesome. And he definitely weaves some really great stories to be told with his lower register vocal performances. And as far as the music is concerned, it's just really, really beautifully, expertly crafted. Some very well-established drum work going on here. Very top-notch guitar riffs to be heard throughout this album. And especially the fact that a lot of these songs begin to get a little bit more lengthy and methodical as the album goes on. Of course, Mare Cognitum holding the longest tracks on here with Venus and Jupiter, like almost 27 minutes worth of music. That's a great bulk of this album to be heard. But then when you get to the final 2 tracks of this split with Pluto, the Gatekeeper, part 1 and part 2, that's when they decide to collaborate together and bring their best ideas forward with that particular 2-part track. And I think it's really, really awesome. I don't think it's as awesome as the split side of the releases, but I think this is a very, very solid way to close an album and a solid way to get anything, to get the ideas and the concepts of this album flowing together. So yeah, this is quite an album to tackle. This is definitely something that you need to be listening to in its entirety. You shouldn't really be skipping any songs. This is a very lengthy album, and I'm almost certain this won't be for everyone's liking or tastes. But if you're into atmospheric black metal, if you're into spacey black metal, if you're into the experimental and just overall pure epicness of what these bands do, I think you're going to enjoy Wanderer's Astrology of the Nine. I mean, I really don't score splits on this segment, but if I had to score this, I would honestly give it a perfect 10 out of 10. This is definitely something that you might see me talk about before the year is over, or before I get to doing a best of 2020 list in the forthcoming new year. But yeah, this is an absolutely phenomenal split, and I cannot recommend this one enough. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave you a link in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this split and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Mare Cognitum Bandcamp page where you can listen to this split in full, in its entirety, hear it for yourself, be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. Like I said, Voidhanger Records put this out. I believe this is available physically as a double CD and a triple LP with a tri-gatefold. I believe the vinyl copies are sold out through Mare Cognitum's Bandcamp, but I believe CDs are still readily available. So definitely get a hold of the split and listen to it however you can. Again, the split is Mare Cognitum and Spectral Lore with Wanderer's Astrology of the Nine, released through Voidhanger Records. Definitely check this one out. If you happen to have heard this split, all 2 hours of it, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it, and we can go from there. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Army Hell out.